What's up, everybody? Welcome to the newest episode of the Debate Mates. I am Matthew, and I am honored to be joined once more by the legendary first ever debate mate himself, Nathan Poplin.
What's up, guys?
So I know I told you guys we'd be weekly at our last video, and depending on how you measure a week, we're living up to that. But if you measure a week by a calendar, like most people, then we kind of fell off there. I know say this a lot, but we definitely want to be making videos more regularly, and it'll be our goal to try to make videos more regularly. That is our debate mates promise. And since we don't make videos that much, we kind of have to talk about some more general topics. And today we thought of an actually really fun general topic that we wanted to talk about, and that is the happiness of NBA fan bases. And so by talking about that, we're going to be able to hit every team, talk about a little bit of everything, and just give us a little bit of structure as we go team by team on our trusty tier maker website that we used last time when we ranked NBA title contenders. And like I said, we're just going to talk about every team. So, if you're a Hornets fan and you're sad because ESPN doesn't talk about the Hornets, watch the debate mates because we're going to talk about them right now, or at least in a couple of minutes.
Even though they're bad, I'm happy to talk about the Hornets.
So if you have any friends that like these teams that don't get talked about, send them this video because they're going to finally get some coverage, even if it's just the debate mates. So without further ado, I'm going to head over to Tier Maker and we're going to start ranking some teams. All right, so here we are now on this Tier Maker website, like I just said. And before we make the tiers, I forgot about this. Make sure you subscribe to us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, or subscribe to us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Absolutely. It's been so long, I don't even remember how the social media apps work anymore. But yeah, subscribe on YouTube, like, comment, share the video with your friends, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And without further ado, here we are, Tier Maker website. We have these teams ranked alphabetically right now, but possibly alphabetically.
Okay.
Maybe alphabetically.
Yeah, this is more 2K order than it is actual alphabetically, but I think we did a pretty good job from memory. Okay, so I feel like let's start with our S tier. Let's talk about the teams that don't need as much coverage because they're goated. You know what I mean? Right. And we know what they're about. So I'll start first. I'll go with my bias. Okay. I'll put my Boston Celtics S tier, top of the Eastern Conference, number one offense, and basically any statistical offensive category you can think of. They're number one right now. It seems like the Joe Mazzulla, after the whole Ime Udoka thing, Joe Mazzulla has worked out way better than anyone could have anticipated. I think I said we'd be off to a rocky start, but we've looked incredible on the offensive side of the ball. Lost to Orlando aside, just a fluke.
You guys are better without Rob Williams.
Yeah, I know. It's going to take him, I think, some time to get. Offensively, we are much better without Rob Williams, but we definitely need his defensive anchor down low when it comes playoff time. So try to ingratiate him. If it's a slow period, to ingratiate him to the offense is worth it. But yeah, I think four. I mean, other than that, four of the top five, I believe, in that lead the league and three free throw percentage are Boston Celtics at this current moment. Yeah. At least in the Eastern.
I mean, the Celtics were on pace to be a 50-40-90 team not too long ago. They've been shooting the cover off the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Tatum is an absolute stud. I mean, outside of a couple outlier games, man's averaging, I believe, somewhere between 28 and 32 points a game. So
I believe it's actually like right at 30.
Is it 30 points exactly? Yeah, I mean he's top. He's top in most people's, and I think the league's MVP race. Definitely up there with Giannis and Luka at this current moment. Jokic, who have all had incredible seasons to start. But yeah, not much to say. I'm incredibly happy with my team, and I think the rest of the Boston Celtics fans around the globe are ecstatic about this team as well.
Yeah, on Basketball Reference, there's a little dance happening. The Basketball Reference MVP tracker is one of my favorite things to look at because it's just straight statistics to rank them.
Yeah.
And Jokic is number one right now. Mm-hmm. He's been number one. He and Luka just keep doing a little dance. They keep doing a little tango. And Basketball Reference, for whatever reason, doesn't like Tatum as much as a lot of the other analysts do. And I think it's because Tatum is way more vulnerable to those bad games. Mm-hmm. Tatum has a lot of just subpar games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't argue with that. Celtics have to have one of the happiest fan bases in the league. I mean, are you happy?
I'm ecstatic.
And you're the biggest Celtics fan I know. So I can't argue with an actual Celtics fan and tell him he's not happy.
I'm ecstatic, and I think most, even though Boston has been known to be quite a I don't know what's the word, topsy-turvy fan base where at the slightest provocation of something bad, they completely turn on the team. Not me, though. I'm a real Celtics fan. So, yeah, I'm incredibly happy where this team is at currently.
And considering the injuries earlier in the season, like you guys have had to start Blake Griffin at center a couple of games, you're still 22-8, ahead in the Eastern Conference, ahead in
Mhm.
the entire league.
Yeah.
And the team that's ahead in the Western Conference, the team I'm going to move into, the happiest tier. I have to say, I think these are the happiest fans in the NBA right now. It's got to be the
A team
Memphis
you were a bit
Grizzlies,
critical on, I
a
would
team
say.
I
Yeah.
didn't expect to play this well this season because I thought last year they kind of snuck up on some teams
Yeah.
and they seem to make some enemies, especially in the playoffs, especially with the Warriors and other veteran teams. I
Mhm.
thought they'd have a bit of a target on their back, but target or not, these Grizzlies are playing incredibly. They're 19-9. They're one of the 3 teams in the NBA right now that still have single-digit losses.
Mhm.
And this is without Jaren Jackson Jr. for the beginning of the season. It feels like forever since Desmond Bane has played a basketball game,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
he's their second best player,
Mhm.
borderline all-star with his numbers so far in the year. But they just keep getting it done. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They absolutely smacked the
The
Bucks
Bucks,
the other
absolutely
night.
something I did not see coming. So yeah, so that was a master class of a game they played against the Bucks right there.
And it's just I heard someone say this on another podcast about the Grizzlies. Is it's like a college atmosphere with them.
Mhm.
They're all happy to get stats for their other players, for their teammates. They're not really
Mhm.
concerned about their own stats. They just want to win. They just want to have fun. They have that cool locker room video they do before every game where they just dance like
Yeah,
this.
they're a real legit team.
Yeah.
Like they care for one another and they play for one another night in and night out, regardless of the result. So that's something very admirable to see in a team. And I think that has very much contributed to their success. I agree with you on that.
And Grizzly fans, they just seem to love the Grizzlies. The
Hmm.
Grizzlies like embody Memphis. They're tough. They're gritty. They play defense.
Hmm.
They're not afraid to get under some people's skins. Dylan Brooks, especially, saying the other night, "I'm happy Steph Curry's not playing in the Christmas Day game. I like guarding Clay better. It's more of a challenge." Yeah, he said he like been locking Steph up anyways. So
Like the confidence.
I like the confidence. Yeah, Dylan Brooks is the. I think there was a tweet I saw. Danny Brooks. Dylan Brooks is the evil Danny Green.
Yes, legitimately. Yeah.
Speaking of Danny Green, did you see on ESPN the other
What
day?
Woj did?
Windhorse, yeah, he was sitting
Oh, it was Windhorse.
on
Right.
ESPN, and Windhorse was like, "Yeah, I hear this guy next to me, Danny Green's in some trade
Yeah, and
talks
some
right
trade
now."
talks. Yeah, that might have been the most savage thing I've ever seen Windhorse do.
Yeah, that was crazy. But
Like you're on the chopping block, bud. Like just right next to him, bro.
but
That was kind of funny though.
the Grizzlies, they have to be the happiest fan base in the NBA right
Mhm.
now because a lot of things have gone wrong injury wise, but they still have John Morant playing like an MVP.
Mhm.
They probably will talk themselves into saying that he's the best point guard in the league.
I mean,
And
he's up there.
he's one of the top point
He's
guards in
been
the league.
playing like it, so yeah.
So I got to go the Grizzlies
All right.
in my happiest
So
tier.
I think another team that can't be disputed. We don't have to talk much about them, but we're always singing their praises is Milwaukee.
Yeah.
One game behind the Celtics right now.
Even though they just got smacked, absolutely smacked by the
Yeah, no, this is still a powerhouse team,
Grizzlies.
regardless. Even though they got absolutely
and
demolished
beaten by the
Grizzlies.
Rockets the game before that.
Yeah, it happens. There's been a couple of those weird victories, but that happens every season where teams should not be. But anybody can beat anybody in any given night. That's just the way most sports work. But yeah, this is one of the deepest teams, arguably the deepest team. Them and the Celtics, I think, are two of the deepest teams by far in this league when it comes to their bench. I mean, Giannis, MVP candidate, he speaks for himself. Drew Holiday still doing his thing. So I mean, this team hasn't changed very much. They're getting the GOAT back in Joe Ingles.
Oh yeah,
gonna absolutely drop 30 to the next game. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much to say about them. They're just such a well put together team. And even though I've been critical of Budenholzer, he still coaches this team very well. He fits in with his culture. So yeah, I think the Milwaukee Bucks are undisputed, deserve to be this S tier. Their fans are ecstatic, and they have been the last couple of years.
As long as you have Giannis, you're gonna have a pretty happy fan base.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you have a superstar, I mean, you can't really complain, right? So I mean, not much to say about them.
I can only think of 2 more teams that are in the absolute
S tier,
happiest S tier. One of those teams may be happier than the Grizzlies. I might have to take back what I said because no one expected them to be here, and that's the Sacramento Kings. I mean, how can you be unhappy as a Sacramento Kings fan? They're 16-12. They're 5th in the Western Conference right now. 28 games, almost 30 games into the season, and they're still a top 5 team in the West, fighting for home court and the playoffs. I know it's early, but no one expected them to perform this well.
I told you these Kings, not this well, but like I told you these Kings.
For the first year in forever, it's like the Kings actually have a roster that makes sense. You got the Aaron Fox, you got the Domantas Sabonis, you got that pick and roll there. You got the great inside scorer and the great exterior scorer who can also get into the paint and score. And Sabonis, who's a great playmaker. You put around them shooters. Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray can shoot. Harrison Barnes can shoot. They can dribble. They can play make. Mm-hmm. They can defend. And then off the bench, you bring in scorers. Malik Monk, a great scorer off the bench. You got some defense with guys like Davion Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first time, like since I can remember, it's just a well put together Kings team.
Kings team,
And
yeah.
Mike Jones has them playing hard.
It's been quite a bit since the Kings had a reason to be happy.
Yeah.
And this roster is starting to take shape and take form, and
they got the beam.
Do you think
the
this?
beam.
Do you think the way they're playing as well as their fans' happiness is sustainable? Do you think that they'll be in this range when everything's all said and done and 82 games have been played? Do you think they'll be this high? Because I don't think they'll. I think they will still be either in the playoffs or the play-in. But I definitely don't think they're going to end up fifth. I can see them. I mean, they've surprised me. I think we had them at like 9 or something, or I did. And so they're playing incredibly well right now. But yeah, when it comes to how happy the fans are, I agree with you.
Yeah,
these fans have something to get excited about.
Over the moon right now.
Mm-hmm. They love.
But do I think they can keep it up the entire year? I'm gonna have to say no. I mean, they're playing incredibly well right now, and their offense has been absolutely off the charts. And the thing that has me excited is even like Kevin Huerter, he's cooled down a lot, and he was one of the big reasons that they started off so well, and they're still playing incredibly well. And I do think, even though it's kind of stupid, or it might seem kind of stupid, speaking of the Kings, I said their coach was Mike Jones. His name is Mike Brown. I had a little mistake there. But the beam, I think it really brings them together. I think they really are rallying around the idea of putting the beam out every single night when they win. I think it makes the fans happy. I think it keeps the players happy, and it keeps them energized. They have all these little knickknacks that they're doing after all the games. They got the defensive player of the game, the little necklace that they're giving out with the Kings logo. They got the beam. It's just like they seem happy. They seem like they enjoy playing for one another. And I think when you have that mixed with the talent you have, or they have, the success will stay. I don't know if they'll finish. I don't know what pace they're on right now, but I think that's about a 50-win pace, 16-12. I don't think they finish around that. They're probably closer to 500 when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
But even that would be an incredible season, and Kings fans would be happy.
Well, yeah, there's something to strive forward to. And it's like, hey, we're making progress finally.
Yeah.
We're making strides towards something. So good for the Kings. And then you said you had one more team you want to put S tier.
Do you have any teams you want to put S tier?
I don't know if it's the same team. I want to put Cleveland up in here.
You can put Cleveland there. That's not who I was thinking.
Okay.
I think they deserve it.
I think Cleveland has played outstanding. They gave up not as much as, let's say, the Timberwolves gave up to get their star, but what they gave up for Donovan Mitchell was still a pretty penny, and it's worked out incredibly for this team. He's basically playing like he's the best guard in the entire Eastern Conference at this current moment.
Yeah,
and I think he just dropped the last game I looked at. He dropped 41, had like 8 threes or something. I mean, I definitely didn't think this. I was a little hesitant on the backcourt of him and Garland. Such a lack of defense, but such a great offensively, but very scary defensively because they're both like 6'1".
Right.
You know what I mean? But so far, I mean, the fact that you have Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen working down low, it's really, you don't have to worry. Those are two incredibly good paint defenders. You know what I mean? And Mobley's really good on the perimeter from what I've seen. He can. But this team is really good. Like I've said, I think many people have said this team has been built the right way. They've traded and they've drafted really nicely.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that the Cavs fans, I think, have a reason to be this excited that wasn't attached to LeBron James.
Yep.
And in my opinion. So yeah, I think the Cavs are definitely a top contender in the East, and I think the fans should be ecstatic at what they've seen so far and what they're going to see later in the season. What do you think about this?
I can't disagree. They've looked awesome so far. Donovan Mitchell is
doing his thing.
I can't disagree with him being probably the best guard in the Eastern Conference so far this season.
Yeah, he's played out of his mind.
He's been absolutely incredible. He looks like he can lead a team. Jarrett Allen is a phenomenal big man. He's one of my favorite centers in the league. He just plays the right way. He's not worried about his own stats. He's just worried about winning. And it seems like that's the mentality a lot of these Cavs guys have.
Yeah.
Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, we were worried about who would have to sacrifice, but it seems like they're both happy to sacrifice a little bit if it means it's going to get some wins.
Yeah.
And they have. Evan Mobley continues to grow. He continues to look better and better and better. And there are going to be teams in the playoffs that aren't going to want to face these guys because their front court is terrifying. Like, I remember watching the Bucks game. Jaren Jackson Jr. and Steven Adams were tough for Giannis to score on in the paint, especially at the beginning of that game. Just forcing jump balls, getting blocked shots, and then getting out into transition. I think that might be the exact same thing against a team like the Cavs. They're built to play a team like that. They're built to
definitely cause some
like
damage. Yeah, to definitely scare the Bucks. Like, oh, hey,
and then
they have
the scoring punch to beat anybody,
Mhm.
really. So I don't see how
One
you
of the
could
best
be
backcourts in
unhappy.
the entire league, as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned. Yeah, so I mean, very good place to be if you're a Cavs fan right now. Very good time
And I
to
actually
be.
have two more now.
Okay, yeah, go for it. I think
I
I know
hadn't
one
thought
of your
about
teams.
this one, but then
You
I
want to? I'm gonna assume that the one of the other teams you're gonna talk about is it Dallas?
you think, dude, Dallas is one game over 500. They might be down in the
Well, I
D
know
tier
how high you are in
happiness.
Dallas, but like I mean, they still have solid pieces
I
on
have
that
to be
roster.
real. I have to be
Who's the
realistic.
other? Who are the other two teams that
The
you
other two
think are S tier?
teams, the Pelicans,
That's fair. I like
as
that.
far as fan base happiness goes, they were just number one in the West after they smacked the Suns in back to back games. Zion was windmilling.
Yeah, this team is deadly. This team is fun to watch
They don't
too.
really have
God.
any holes. Zion, Ingram when he gets healthy from his toe injury. They got C.J. McCollum, who hasn't shot as well as he has in the past, but is still really grown into that point guard role they have him at. Jonas Valanciunas is one of the most solid centers in the league. Jose Alvarado was really coming to his own as a bench scorer.
Yeah.
Had his career high 38 points a couple nights ago, and has just been able to continue to be a spark off the bench. Formerly, it was just defensively, but now it's offensively as well. Herb Jones. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name right now. Trey Murphy.
Trey
He
Murphy.
might even be a better Herb Jones. Incredible 3-point shooter, one of the prettiest strokes in the league. How could you not be excited? Especially with watching Zion, he's just so electric.
Yeah, Zion was on a little bit of a tear recently too. My goodness, my
And when you
man.
beat the Suns, your fans immediately get happy because everybody hates the Suns.
Yeah, everyone and their mother hates the freaking Suns.
Yeah, no one likes the Suns. So if you beat the Suns, your fan base is
You're
going
a
to be
hero.
happy.
You're here. Yeah, so I agree with this one pick. I'm really high on New
And
Orleans in
then
their future.
the other team, even though they might not get Victor Wembanyama, the
Utah, yeah.
Jazz. I mean, they
I
got.
guess if you're talking about what the expectations were coming into the season and how they've been
Well, yeah,
astronomically
it's a matter of
exceeded.
perspective because if you're a Jazz fan, then you could be looking at this one of two ways. I think one, oh man, we're not going to get Victor Wembanyama. This is stupid. We're going to flame out in like January, February. We're going to get like 30 wins, but because we started so hot, we're not going to get Wembanyama. What was the point of the season? They might have some fans in that camp, but I think more of the fans are going to be like, dude, this is awesome. We might not even need Wembanyama.
Yeah.
We have so many competent players right now, and the Timberwolves suck.
Yeah.
And we traded everybody to the Timberwolves. So
Yeah.
we're better than Rudy Gobert's team right now.
Yeah.
So I think they got to be incredibly happy.
Yeah, I think as a Jazz fan, you're incredibly excited. This hodgepodge of guys has actually played really well as a team together and fused really well. Lauri Markkanen thinks he's like the second coming of Larry Bird this season.
Yeah, Larry Markkanen.
Larry Markkanen. Yeah, he's going crazy. Yeah, I didn't have much faith in this team, but yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it's just a matter of perspective. I think in that case though, I think there will be quite a few people. I would move them down to A tier.
Okay, we can do that.
I think these other six up here in the S tier, it's like, yeah, you're ecstatic if you're if you're a part of this fan base. But with them, you're right. There's a substantial. I mean, it's going to be like, hey, what was the point if we're just going to get like the ninth pick instead of like we could have sold it all and got Wembanyama and had a genuine stud,
Right.
7'4" with just the most crazy game I've ever seen in my freaking life.
I'm not sold. I'm not sold on him.
You're not sold on Wembanyama?
I'm not sold on him. That's a topic for another day.
Yeah. All right. So let's move down to A tier. Some teams that are pretty happy or stayed pretty happy.
I have two on the top of my mind.
All right, we'll go. You go first. Well, which one?
Actually, I have three.
Okay, go for it.
I'm gonna have to rep my Nets.
Yeah, y'all been
After
playing
the
really
start
solid.
we had, I don't think anybody expected the Nets to be basically on pace for 50 wins this year. We're 18-12, coming off a huge buzzer-beating victory.
I think we did. I think we suspected it because we know.
we know ball.
We know ball. Yeah.
But I don't think anyone expected them, other than the two of us, of course, to be this good right now. They looked like they were dead in the water. Kevin Durant was on the trading block, not officially in the news, but I think everyone was like, if they get a good enough offer, Kevin Durant might be gone. This is our first episode we've done maybe since Kyrie even got suspended. It's been so long since we did one, but that was such a big cloud over their season. People thought Kyrie might never even play a game in the entire NBA ever again, so that was looking really rough. But they've just been incredible. They're playing hard on defense. Jacque Vaughn has them playing great brand of basketball right now.
I love what Jacque Vaughn's done with this team.
KD has to be top 5 MVP right now. I mean, the dude is shooting 56% from the field. That is nuts. He's shooting, I can't remember the exact stat, but I want to say he's shooting 63% from 10 to 16 feet this season.
which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So
He's never shot above 53%.
Mm-hmm.
And even 53%, if you're making over 50% of your mid-rangers, it's incredible. And he's doing this basically all off the dribble, off of the post up. He's having I think this is his best offense he's ever played, just as far as efficiency goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anytime he shoots a mid-ranger, I have no reason to believe that he's going to miss it. And how Kyrie has played, even though Joe Harris isn't fully in stride yet. Nick Claxton, I like Nick Claxton now.
Yeah, I know. You were telling me
Nick
how
Claxton.
impressed you've been with Claxton this season, stepping up into that starting
He and
role.
Kevin Durant are absolutely monsters on defense, blocking shots. They have the best rim protection in the league. The paint field goal allowed by the Nets is the lowest in the league. I don't know if the way I said that made sense.
Which really comes into handy, especially if you got to play someone like Giannis in the playoffs or somebody crazy like that. So yeah, so this team you have a lot to be happy about, especially after all the controversy these last 2 years. I can't argue with a genuine Nets fan, you know what I mean? So I mean, so yeah, so I agree. I like this. I like them in A. Really good team.
Yeah, anybody else you want to put up there?
Mm.
I can go while you wait, or did you say Indiana? I heard an end.
I mean, yeah, I'm struggling between A and B because do I think it's sustainable what they're doing? No, but I've been impressed by a lot of what I'm seeing, especially even though they are the 9th seed. Still, I had them like the 15th seed. I had them. They lost Brogdon and they lost TJ Warren. I was like, yeah, this team is dead in the water. They want to move on from Turner. This is let's just blow it up and start over. But yeah, freaking Benedict Mathurin comes out of nowhere, 6th pick. I should have expected it from a top 10 pick, but he comes out of nowhere and starts just playing his ball. He starts doing his thing, and this team, and then Buddy Hield. You know, there's actually a couple pieces where I'm looking and I'm like, hey, this team isn't as bad as I once suspected.
And they played a close game with the Cavs last night.
So
and I can't really pronounce this guy's name. Andrew Nembhard, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Nembhard, yeah.
Rookie. Had the game winner against the against the Warriors. Outplayed Stephen Curry. They've got 2 rookies that are looking really good right now.
I'm actually going to skip a little bit. I think this is a B tier team. I don't think I'd put them all the way up at A because you still have a lot of holes and a lot of problems you can fix. Even though I've been genuinely impressed by this Indiana team, I think B is a solid spot for them. But yeah, I want to talk about them because they've genuinely surprised me this season. I like what I'm seeing. Personnel wise, I'm a fan. You know, it's just they need a couple pieces to get back into contention. You know, and I think they're a couple years away from that.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, good job. If you're a Pacers fan, your hopes are definitely up.
I mean,
higher than
what you thought. Tyrese Halliburton is the new point guard.
Yeah, I mean the man.
He had that stretch 40 straight assists without a turnover. He's one of the smartest players in the league right now.
So Pacers fans, even though there's holes, you do have a lot to be excited about, I think. I think you're pretty content on where you are at this current moment as a Pacers fan.
The team I'm going to put in the A tier, although their happiness is quite fluid, is the Knicks.
New York Knicks, yeah.
They're on a 5-game winning streak right now, 16-13, 7-3 in their last 10. Jalen Brunson has been everything you could have wanted in your new point guard. Julius Randle, the fans love to hate him. Mm-hmm. But when he plays well, they also love to build him up. He's been playing really well recently.
Yeah, they're kind of like Boston fans. It's wishy-washy.
Yeah, and
it's up and down.
Has found his rotation. Mm-hmm. Quentin Grimes is awesome as a 3-and-D guy. I saw people on Twitter saying he was the second coming of Klay Thompson recently.
Yeah, I really like this team. I wish they could have found a better spot for Cam Reddish, but I mean Cam Reddish is kind of because I think Cam Reddish on this team could have been a contributor.
They're trading him at some point.
Yeah, I mean like he's basically he's done.
Yeah.
But I mean I kind of wish that because I liked Cam Reddish coming out of college. But besides that, yeah, this Knicks team has been really solid this season. I think I was wrong. I think I left them out. I think I left them out when we did a ranking of the playoffs.
As a 10 seed,
I left them out completely. I'm pretty sure. And you know again another team has genuinely surprised me. Good team. Pretty solid. I think on a really good offensively. Pretty I guess solid. I mean for what I've seen defensively, they're all right. Like they're a pretty average defense. Even though you have even though you have someone like a Mitchell Robinson or a who is their backup center now? It's not Hartenstein, is it?
Well, they have Hartenstein coming on the bench. Yeah, I Hart.
Because Nerlens Noel is gone.
Perhaps you were thinking of Jericho Sims.
Maybe Jericho Sims. Yeah, another Jericho. Yeah, so I've liked what I've seen out of him a little bit. But yeah, I agree with that. They could very well be here right now, and then 5 weeks from now be here,
or after the weekend.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just flip flop. So that's some of those. There's a couple teams in here that are like that.
Yeah,
like up and down constantly. But yeah, I agree with that pick. Do you have any more in the A tier?
I have some more in the A tier.
Okay.
As a matter of fact.
Oh, I see one.
Denver.
Yeah, I knew that was coming next. Yeah, this is just a good team.
They're
The
just a good
last
team.
years, they can't get it done, but they're always a really good, really
17
well-rounded
and
team.
11. They
Yeah,
got one of the best offenses in the league. They got the 2-time MVP. Probably going to be the 3-time MVP if you look at
that'd be
basketball
nuts to be
reference.
three. Yeah, be three Pete's MVP. That'd be
And
crazy.
then we don't really need to talk about the Nuggets too much. Everybody knows what they got.
Hmm.
Another team that I think is really happy right now. I got two more. The Thunder.
Thunder, yeah.
Thunder aren't very good. They are currently the 13th seed in the West. They're 11 and 18. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will be an all-star this year. Lock it in. He's still averaging over 30 points per game.
Hmm.
Josh Giddey has not taken the step that I think some expected him to take. But Trey Mann has looked good. Lou Dort is still Lou Dort. Alexei Pokashevsky's had great minutes this year as a
I'm happy
starter.
for Poku, yeah, because I liked him coming out, and I'm glad he's kind of finding a rhythm and kind of
I
stepping into
think
what he
Thunder
could
fans
be.
are starting to say, you know what, we don't need Wembanyama.
Yeah, I
Who
mean,
cares? We
not
got a good
only
roster right now.
yeah, not only are you excited about this roster, that's so good. Jalen, one of the oh my god, they have two.
They got two Jalen Williams.
I forget the one that wears 8. I forget. He's had some.
Well, we know he's a
moments
Jalen
where
Williams.
He's a Jalen Williams.
one of the
One's
two.
34, I think, and one's 8, and I just can't remember which one. But yeah, the one that was picked first, I think, was 8.
You're
and
getting
I've
him
seen-
confused with another one. 34 is Kenrich Williams.
Oh, that's
also of the
oh my
Thunder.
god. Yeah, it's just like the Patriots have 3 Jones at the same position. They're like all freaking small forward, power forwards, but or shooting guards. But anyways, yeah. Not only are you excited at this current moment, but still in the back of your mind, you're excited because of the endless amount of picks you have for the next couple of years, and if you stumble across a couple more gems in that prop, which you should hit at least a couple, I hope, for this Thunder team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really happy this team is kind of getting in their groove, and even though even though the record right now is bad, which is to be expected, especially the amount of talent, better teams in the West. Okay, I think in a couple years this team could be 4 or 5 years, the team could be a legit contender.
And I think
you're excited about what you've seen at this current moment.
And you got to just love Shai. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's got a great NBA personality. He's awesome. He's super marketable. And I think Thunder fans haven't had a star like that to grasp onto for a while. Paul George always kind of felt like a rental. You had Westbrook, but I think everyone knew Westbrook was on his way out after the Kevin Durant trade.
Mm-hmm.
And they loved him, and they still do love him. But Shai kind of feels like our guy, I think, if you're a Thunder fan.
A guy that's going to ride it out for the long term, because I think
it seems like he brings them back into the promised land.
Yeah, so like he could definitely lead this team into much success later down the line. I have faith that he could lead this team.
So he's
already doing
my other A-tier happiness team. I'm going to throw the Orlando Magic in here.
I've loved what I've seen out of Paolo.
The Magic are another team that aren't very good. They're only 10 and 20, but they have the rookie of the year.
Paolo, I knew was going to be. Franz Wagner is really solid on this team.
Mo Wagner,
Jalen Suggs has some moments where I was really excited and thought that he's taking a step.
The
Bobo resurgence, the biggest resurgence, and it makes me incredibly happy.
Yeah.
Because Bobo, I remember how heartbroken I was. He was taken like one of the last picks in the second round, and then wasn't given much time. But he comes to Orlando of all places, and starts looking solid.
They're a league pass must watch.
Yeah, they're fun. They're
Wendell Carter, Mo Bamba, Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, all these super tall dudes.
Yeah, that front court is
making
nuts.
things happen.
That front court is absolutely freaking insane right now.
Yeah, they are just a super fun team to watch. And they're the perfect bad team. They play teams close and then they lose. So you get good draft lottery odds.
Mm-hmm.
You play close games. You got young guys getting experience. Banchero looks like he might be an all-star next year, like a bit of a Luka Doncic Zion thing where you're already throwing him in the all-star game their second year. Just got to be happy if you're a Magic fan right now, I think.
Yeah, I think you're ecstatic if you're a Magic fan. They've looked really incredible so far. I mean, like what do I'm trying to say? Not incredible record wise.
They look incredible compared to what incredible normally is for the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, they look like they're on the up and up for sure. And I think it ties into, if you're a fan, you're excited about the future. That's one thing that makes you excited. You've seen from this team the production they put on, and I mean they're beating Celtics, and they can beat a good team. And it's a fun team to watch. If you don't watch many Magic games, go watch some Magic games. Because I know it's the Magic. You know what I mean? Nobody's excited to watch the Magic. But if you're a Magic fan, I think you're really hopeful and you really like the production from your front court. Little bit to be desired from the back court, but I digress. I'd like to see the strength in the back court as they do in the front court. They'd be a god tier team. They'd be a contender. Anybody A tier?
I have one that's kind of trending between A and B. So I'm happy to put them B if you're ready to move on, unless you're about to move that team into A.
I'm not going to move them into A. I think B. I think
Okay.
let's talk about Portland.
Let's talk about Portland.
Shady on Sharps look better. Shade on.
Shady on.
Is it Shady on? Okay,
Shady on.
I've been pronouncing it. Shady on Sharps looked better. This team has just looked much better. You had some hopes for this team at the beginning of the season that they might be a play-in team.
Yeah.
And I think what is their record currently?
16 and 13.
16. So they're 6 seed and they're definitely playing better.
I mean, seeding really means nothing right now. It's just about record.
I mean, Greg Brown. I like what Greg Brown could become. Did you see the posterized you put on McGee? Absolute stud down there. You know what I mean? You still have Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard is Dame Lillard. Don't need to talk about him. Nurkic.
Speaking of dunk,
solid.
Who knew Luka could posterize people?
Oh yeah, that's true. Luka.
Where did that come from last night? But I'll let you continue.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's not much to say. This team is a bit more. Chauncey Billups at coach has been producing and is leading this team like I want him to. I think I had really high hopes for Chauncey Billups as the head coach of this team, and he's looked really solid. But yeah, I'll pass it to you. I'm excited about this team.
Yeah,
I'm happy for Dame, because there is some hope for this team. Not true contenders at this point, but definitely on the up and up. I think they could get a ring before he retires. If you keep progressing.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I will say, I've been scoping out the MVP dinner table recently.
Nice.
Damian Lillard isn't sitting there yet, but he keeps walking around the restaurant.
He keeps nudging himself forward.
He keeps walking.
Every time he walks around, he gets a bit closer.
He's circling the restaurant right now. He's a little nervous so far to sit with Luka and KD and Jason Tatum and Giannis.
He's looking for a spot. He's looking for his chair.
But as soon as one of those guys falls out, I think Damian Lillard's next in line for the MVP discussion right now. He's missed a couple games, but in the games he's played, he's been absolutely awesome.
And people clown me for having him like 13 in the top 25.
Well, I might clown you for that still, but Jeremy Grant has looked really good. He's been carrying him when Dame is out. Anthony Simons has been awesome. He had his career high this year. Dame is still going to be Dame. Yusuf Nurkic is as solid as they come.
He's the definition of a solid center.
Yeah.
He's just nothing more, nothing less. He's solid, and he has been for several years
now.
So this is a team that I think you can be generally happy or content if you're this fan base.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing to be super unhappy about.
The only thing that you're unhappy about is this isn't ending in the championship.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, maybe I'm just being too hopeful. I want Dame to get a ring before he heads out because it'd be tragic if he didn't. But kind of like if Chris Paul doesn't get a ring, which most likely is not going to. But most likely,
no one likes Chris Paul anymore.
Yeah, no. But I mean, I'm still fine on CP3. But
sorry.
No, yeah, I'm fine. Go ahead.
My next B tier team, another team that's not very good, the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons would be S tier, I think, if it weren't for Cade Cunningham being out for the season.
Yeah.
Because I saw a post the other day on Twitter, literally yesterday, comparing Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham to Kobe and Shaq. To Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. People love Jalen Duren. He had his career high in points last night. I think he had 15 and 14 or 15 and 13, something around that. He's just a paint beast.
Yeah, no, he's solid.
Gets rebounds. And Killian Hayes, where did he come from?
I don't know.
He single-handedly beat the Mavericks on that game. I don't know why I remember the date, but it was December 1st.
There's a reason happened. There's a reason I've been really high on these Pistons, and because Troy Weaver is one of the best GMs.
Bojan Bogdanovic
in this
awesome
absolute
right now.
Bojan Bogdanovic has come in and played really good ball.
Beef Stew hitting that 3-ball.
Beef Stew. I love me some Beef Stew. Yeah, there's just so much grit, and just each individual piece I really like. The only piece I was concerned about was Killian Hayes,
and
Killian Hayes has started to take the step forward that they wanted when they got him, 5 or 7 overall, 7th overall in the draft. This is our bona fide point guard. I need to see more steps taken, obviously, but recently I've liked what I've seen.
Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey is
one of the better rookies in the league.
I mean, they got Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren. I thought they had basically a top 3 draft after that. After they got him, top 3 draft. Absolutely. Those two have fit into this system really nicely. Dwayne Casey's doing his thing. Dwayne Casey's a good coach. You know what I mean? He's good. At one point, this man was coach of the year. This man was like a god, and then gets stripped down and sent to Pistons for a better coach in the Raptors. We'll talk about the Raptors here in a second.
I don't know about in a second.
And I mean,
when we get down to
later down the line. I don't know. I just really like again another team like the Magic that's really positioned in a couple years to be really nice. Same with the Thunder, But yeah, from what I've seen, if Cade Cunningham was on this team, they definitely be higher. They'd be higher statistic. They'd be higher in the standings than they are right now. So yeah, Pistons. Hey, Pistons fans, be excited.
Yep.
Just be happy for your team. Be happy for your Pistons because I know it's a new feeling. These last, it's like you haven't been happy since like 2004.
Yeah.
Who next? Do we have any more B tier?
I have 2 C tier teams, but I don't know if we have any more Bs. Don't put the Hawks in there.
No.
Trae Young literally sat out a game because he's mad at the coach.
No, I'm not. I'm not putting the Hawks. I'm scanning Matthew. Yeah, no, I think we can move on to C.
All right,
There's nobody that speaks to me.
I have 2 teams in the C tier. I'll start us out with the 76ers, 16-12. Very good, looking like contenders. Got to have them in there. And the 17-14 Los Angeles Clippers, looking like contenders. Got to have them in there.
Rated, they're looking like about what I said they would be.
And you might be saying now, Matthew and Nathan, these teams are so good. Why do you have them so low? But these fan bases they're masochists.
Yeah, no,
they're not masochists, but they expect pain. They're like, oh, we got a 5-game winning streak. Okay, Kawhi Leonard's about to miss 2 months. Yeah. Oh, we got a 5-game winning streak. Okay, Joel.
They've had a troubled past with injury these last couple of years. These teams, have had some.
So they can never get too high, and they can get very low. But right now, I'm going to say this is like as high as they'll get.
Yeah,
because they're happy. Their teams are playing well.
The teams are solid. Both teams all around.
They also unfortunately know that normally trouble's around the corner when good things happen in Philly and LA.
Yeah, and these are 2 teams that also struggle to get it done. Have really nice rosters in playoff time. They crumble under the pressure like CP3.
Yeah, like CP3.
Like CP3. Exactly. They crumble under the pressure. Maybe not that severe.
Okay,
but they do crumble on. This is basically what I expected from these teams. I think you had them. You had them as your 1.
Yep.
And them as I think I had them as like my 6. I forget what they are right now.
High.
Yeah, I think I had them at like my 6. They're 8, and like I had them at like my 5, and they're what? Are they 5 right now?
5. Yep.
Yeah, they're 5 right now. So yeah, so these are really good teams. I was about to say really solid coaches. I like Tyronn Lue, but Doc Rivers. And then there's Doc Rivers, who used to be much better.
He leaves a lot to be desired as a head coach.
I don't know what to say about these teams.
There's not much to say about
them. You're not necessarily happy, but you're not necessarily unhappy. It's like we got good rosters, but like we're just not in a place to win, So
both of these it's a weird contend for a championship. You just got to wait and see. That's kind of where these fans are.
These are the worst places to be because you're not. It's like you're not bad enough to completely blow up and do a rebuild, but you're not happy enough that you're contending. You're just in purgatory.
I disagree. I think both of these teams are contenders. I just think the fan bases are just kind of in wait and see mode. We have the talent. We're starting to put it together, but we just got to see who's going to get injured.
Well, I definitely don't think the Sixers are as big as contenders as you think they are. I think they're more pretenders than contenders. But I'll give
also
the
hate the Sixers.
I do. That may I wouldn't say that clouds my judgment, but it does. Even though I love Embiid. Embiid's like one of my favorite players. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely think the Clippers could be contenders. And maybe Philly will change my mind. Let's talk 30 games from now. Let's see where they're at, and then maybe you can change my mind.
I have another C tier team, unless you're got one you want to put in. Okay, let's talk about the worst team in basketball. Let's talk about the Charlotte Hornets. I might even, dare I say, put them in B tier. I'm going to put them in B tier. I'm going to jump up there.
Might be a little too high.
Because right now they have the worst record in the league. They have LaMelo Ball back. They're 0-3 in the games that LaMelo has played his last 3. And in those games, LaMelo has hit 7 threes, 5 threes, 5 threes. LaMelo Ball is still looking like an all-star player, a potential superstar caliber type of guy. And they might be able to pair him with Victor Wembanyama.
I mean, that would be insane.
I mean, if you're a fan, that's got to be what you're thinking about.
I mean, as a fan, you're hopeful. Are you happy with this team right now? I mean, let's be honest. The Miles Bridges puts a damper. On this team.
But no one thought the Hornets were going to be any good this year. Everyone thought they'd be one of the worst.
But I would consider them because it's like if these 2 teams down here in C are thinking negatively when it comes to you being a Hornets fan and you thinking about who your personnel group is and who your GM and who runs and gets people. I mean, they have like Jordan, one of the greatest player of all time, one of the worst owners and like participators in the entire league. This Hornets team just I don't know. I don't like their front office. And you know what I mean? And like that's part I think of your happiness is if you draft well.
I guess you could also
say you go out and get players.
I guess you could also say that recently the head coach Steve Clifford did say that they play no defense. He called out. He basically undressed the team.
Yeah, and that's not very good from a head coach. Also, you know how I feel about Steve Clifford.
Okay, so I'll settle.
That's probably contributing to that record.
I'll settle for the C tier then.
What do you really want them to be? I think
I
C
think the
is
fans are
fine.
happy, especially after those last three games where LaMelo
Mm.
Ball balled out. He looks like a superstar still, and they got the worst record in the league. How
There's
it's not
definitely
it's not
pieces on
much
here.
different than
I
what the
love Scary Terry, and there's definitely pieces on here that can make you excited. But right now, I think I don't know. I think they're in a weird purgatory state, kind of like these other teams at C tier. It's like there's things to be happy about, but there's also things not to be happy about. You know what I mean? It's
okay.
pretty middle of the run.
You got any more C tier teams?
C tier, when it comes to happiness of your fans,
I have two.
I don't know. I'm tempted. I know you're going to disagree with me, but the only reason I would say Mavericks is because you saw what they did last year in that deep playoff run.
Mavericks might be the unhappiest fan base in the league right now.
I mean, we're going purely on fan happiness, but I think that could flip up to C by the end of the season.
I strongly disagree.
You do,
As
okay.
someone that like really likes the Mavericks because I love Luca and I want to see him win an MVP, I can tell you that I'm unhappy. And as someone who follows No Context NBA, who's the biggest Mavericks fan on Instagram right now, I can tell you he's unhappy because they got it in there. I don't know why they keep running it. It's not like the CJ and Dame thing where you run it back and say, okay, at least we got two All Stars.
Mm-hmm.
They're running it back with Dorian Finney-Smith and Tim Hardaway Jr. as like their second and third options, and Dwight Powell as their center. How many more times you got to run it back with like? It's not even they're not trying to upgrade. They're running it back
Dwight
with role
Powell.
players. It's so weird, but so I can't put them there. Two teams I will put there though.
Let's put them. Let's rank the Mavericks. Where do you think they go?
D.
We already talked about them. You think they're a
D
D?
or, I think they're F, but if you want to put them C, I'll settle for D.
All right, put them in D.
My two C tier teams, just because I don't think they're unhappy, they're just not really that happy.
I wanted to put the Rockets. That was one team
Rockets
I was considering.
and Spurs. They're bad enough that they'll get a really good pick, but their fans are
pretty content.
They just want a good pick. That's really all they're in for this season. And you still got Pop. If you're the Rockets, you got Jalen.
These two fan bases are happy to be along for the ride. Yeah, you know what I mean. Happy to along to get good picks and rebuild upwards. You know. So yeah, so I agree with that. I definitely forgot about the Spurs, but I agree with where you put them. But definitely the Rockets. Rockets have a bright
another team I'll put in the C tier. I'm gonna put the Lakers. Even though they're not very good, the Lakers fans are going to talk themselves into them still being like the best team in the NBA.
Yeah, the Lakers fans are a lot like Cowboys fans.
They're 12 and 16.
They'll always talk their crap no matter that they could be 0 and whatever, and they would still be like, oh yeah, but we're going to make a playoff run. You know, just wait till the playing game starts. We'll be there.
I'm going to put the Lakers there too.
That's fair. What else? Is there anybody else that deserves to be in C? Probably not currently. I don't think I'm putting anybody else in C.
To the F tier we go, or we've got the D tier?
Well, let's do D tier. Actually, you know what? It might be easier. Let's do the F tier. Who absolutely deserves to be in the F tier? If you're the Warriors, you are incredibly upset by what you've seen. And Curry's out a couple weeks.
Yeah, you're pretty.
You are a champ. You just came off a championship and are putting up one of the worst next seasons after a championship. Like that possible.
Basically, the Los Angeles Rams at the end.
Yes, absolutely. You're coming out and just
laying an egg.
Laying eggs all over
Jordan
the place.
Poole has not been very good.
No, I'll take DiVincenzo is not it. I thought he'd be a solid replacement for Gary Payton. I was completely wrong. All right, who else?
And you're wasting one of the Curry's best seasons ever.
Yeah, unfortunately, Curry.
And Wiseman
Curry
is absolutely fizzled out.
And I mean, yeah, Wiseman is definitely not the second overall pick we thought he could have been. Draymond continues to get older. Clay is kind of a shell of his former self, unfortunately. What's another team? Timberwolves. I'm upset that I gave up that much assets, and this team is abysmal. That Rudy Gobert has not translated. We all thought it was a weird trade, and I think we were all right to think so. Yeah, because it just has not worked. Him inserted in this lineup with Ant Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns has just not worked. So you were happy Timberwolves fans at first, and now you are completely upset. I would be upset if I were a Timberwolves fan right now.
I agree. The other teams I'll put in there, the Bulls.
The Bulls. I expected them to be better.
We're not seeing red right now. They're 11 and 17. Lonzo Ball is probably out for like ever. His knee continues to bother him.
My man couldn't walk up. A month or two ago, man couldn't walk upstairs 6 months.
Yeah, so it's hard to be excited if you're a Bulls fan.
Because you know what this team could be, and they're absolutely laying eggs, and it's not looking like it's ever going to get.
And Zach LaVine is kind of peaked. I think he's kind of plateaued.
He was continuing. Yeah, I think he's either there or he's nearing his plateau, and but he's still the best thing that this team has, him and DeMar. You know, so but Vucevic, I'm not super high on Vucevic. Lonzo can't stay healthy, and then
Lonzo can't even get.
I can't get consistent production out of out of P. Will. Really excited for him at first, and then now I'm kind of Billy Donovan's an okay coach. I don't know. Yeah, you're upset if you're a Bulls fan. would I put the Heat in F tier?
I don't think so because they're still 500 even dealing with all those
Because
injuries.
I gotta really look because I'm not. I think these rest of these teams could go in D tier.
Okay.
So let's put them all in D tier. Any of you want to talk about in particular? Let's talk about the Hawks. What do you think about the Hawks? Like currently from what you've seen?
I think the Hawks play very uninspired basketball. I think Trae Young wants Nate McMillan gone as soon as possible. Trae Young is
Absolutely.
having one of the worst stretches of his career right now. He can't hit a three to save his life, and he's just not looking very good. He's looking like he got fleeced in that Dallas trade a few years ago. Luka continues to take step forwards, and Trae is another guy that looks like he's kind of plateaued. His efficiency has gone way down. John Collins has been kind of out the door for years now. Clint Capella is redundant with Onyeka and Kongwu, and he can't stay healthy these days. DeAndre Hunter is not taking the jump we expected DeAndre Hunter to take. I bet they really wish they had Kevin Huerter right now, and they hate Nate McMillan. They absolutely hate him. So yeah, they're pretty unhappy.
Even though when he came in, he was a freaking savior, and now he's just absolutely on the opposite end of the totem pole. So yeah, Miami. I was definitely higher on this team than I should have been. This is an incredibly old team to start, and the fans.
Udom Haslam started last night.
Yeah, I know. This is if this or the Lakers, I think these have got to be the two oldest when we're pound for pound oldest teams, and yeah, it shows. Jimmy is not the savior. I'm sorry, Jimmy is a really good player. He's gotten close. But I don't think he's the one to push you over the edge and get a chip. No. And Adebayo, I think, is low key plateaued a little bit as well. Kyle Lowry, he's not getting any younger, and even though he's in better shape, it looks like he's eating better. I guess not a little pudgy as much. He's playing okay basketball, I guess, for his age and what we expect from him. Solid. Nothing excites me about this team, and if you're a fan, you're like, well, how did we get here? Yeah, that was quick. That was quick. We took a nosedive. So yeah.
I put the Suns in the D tier.
D tier. Let's go Suns. That's fine. Better than I was. I thought they were going to be a top team, and I mean statistically and record wise, they are. They have home court advantage.
But they've just been walked down by the Pelicans in back-to-back games.
Yeah, no, this team is starting to unravel quite a bit. Like you expected. I think you expected this team to unravel at the seams. And Devin Booker at times looks like he's doing it by him freaking self. He is the team.
And they still refuse to move on from Jay Crowder. Yeah, anything with Jay Crowder. They don't have Cam Johnson. It's
surprised that deal hasn't gotten done.
Yeah, it's just a depressing time for Suns fans, I think, and they realize they're not going to be able to put it together in the playoffs.
Yeah. Wizards. I mean, Wizards are the Wizards. What else can I say? Their fans are unhappy, but they're also unused to the unhappiness because
that's true. Yeah,
they're just kind of used to it at this point. Similar to like. Even though Pistons are a little more higher for years, Pistons were like, we're bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where they're at. They have nice pieces. Kuzma, one of their best players, might be out of there and back to Los Angeles. That's a possibility, which would be very interesting to put him on this team. Yeah, sorry, Wizards fans. I mean, I don't have much to say about y'all. This is where y'all been the last couple years. Poor Bradley Beal. That's all I got to say.
Bradley Beal his trade value's never been lower.
Yeah, like he should have left.
And he's got a no trade clause, so.
Big oof. And then Toronto. Yeah. Have arguably one of the best coaches in the league, but they have struggled quite a bit this season. Yeah, I don't know. It's a solid roster. But I think the team has plateaued.
I still think they're going to be really good, but I think
they'll be higher than 10.
Yeah, I just think fans are upset right now because they haven't played very well to start the season.
Yeah, no, it's bad. But we've seen that you can start
around a 50-win season.
I don't know. I feel like this is a very fair ranking. Is there anybody you'd switch?
I don't think so. I think we did a pretty good job.
I think so. According to Team Happiness, yeah, these are where for each team's fan bases are at. I think that's a good list. I think we did good.
I think we did good. All right, so comment, let us know how you think we did, if we ranked your team well. And I thank you guys all for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.